Somebody has worn the uniform for a number of agencies. It's Dan Bongino, host of the Dan Bongino Show, right here on the Fox News channel, streaming daily on Fox Nation, and also the host of Unfiltered with Dan Bongino Saturdays on Fox News. Dan, listen to this. The number of police officers intentionally rammed by vehicles, killed by gunfire, or stabbed is up 40% so far this year over last year. And Chris Wray, the FBI director, said that's a troubling trend. It's almost 2 law enforcement officers shot and killed every week, and that's not even counting those who die in the line of duty, facing the inherent dangers that you guys do.
Yeah, I'll never forget an appearance I did on this show where Ainsley actually had asked me a question about, sadly, one of these stories. I wish we never had to talk about these stories again, about police officers being killed, right? But we were on about one of those topics, and I said to Ainsley, think about this. Being a former cop, I get a text from a friend probably twice a year saying to me, hey, remember Officer X, whatever their name is? Yeah, either they were shot and killed, or they were hurt or run over, or they got in a really bad fight in the street while, going to respond to a 911 call. And I said to Ainsley, I said, imagine that being your job, God forbid, at Fox, where you get a text twice a year, and they say, hey, Brian or Steve got beat up in the street, or God forbid, got shot in the line of duty. You'd be like, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. No, it's not. That's what it's like being a police officer and knowing a lot of people in police departments. That's exactly what it's like. Tattoo that on your brain. Imagine if that was your job. And you're going to sit here and lecture me, these leftists and these media people, that the cops are the problem. Really, guys, I got no patience for that. And what bothers me about these stories that we're covering all too often, crime exploding, cops being injured, cops being hurt, is that we know what works, guys. You guys are in New York. It's not like liberals don't know what works. They know it. They lived through the Giuliani broken windows policing. And they're just reverting back to the old stuff. Why? Yeah. You want people to get hurt? You want crime to go up? They're not stupid. That would be the easiest explanation for liberals, but it's not true. They know exactly what they're doing.
Some of them know. Look at Jim Clyburn down in South Carolina. He said this was the stupidest thing for Democrats to run on this. Look what's happening in New York City. We're, having this mayoral race, and the ones that are the top contenders are the ones that are saying law and order. We need to have more police. We need to be stronger.
Although they're not talking Giuliani.
And think about it, Ainsley.
No, not that much. But
Brad, the Jack Maple. He was the first deputy commissioner when I was there. I lived through it. Okay, I was there. You can be a media guy all you want. I know you were 14. You went to journalism school. Now you're 18 and you're blogging. You think you're a police expert. Right. I lived through it. I was there. Don't lecture me, you dunces. Go sit in your corner and shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. Giuliani came in with Bratton and Jack Maple. They instituted CompStat, short for computer statistics. They brought police captains in and said, hey, here are the computer statistics, about the crime in your precinct, drug sales, rapes, murders, homicides. What are you doing about it? You're like, my gosh, that was revolutionary. Yes, it was. Nobody had done it before. And all of a sudden, the police captains were coming into CompStat meetings, sweating sweating bullets,
and guess what?
Saying, oh, my gosh, we got to fix this.
And Dan, I lived in South Carolina then, and you know what the reputation of New York was? You can't go to New York. It's dangerous. You don't take your jewelry.
Remember Times Square?
Yes. And then he cleaned it up.
What happened when you pulled out of Times Square? When you got off the train at Times Square, Ainsley, if you were a tourist, you got hit with a hooker, a drug dealer, and a 3-card Monte guy ready to rip you off.
Yeah. And now you might
comes in, cleans the whole place up.
Real quick, Dan, what does this mean for police reform? When they first started talking about it, we were in a different place. Now we have every major city with soaring crime rates.
Times Square
and you have politicians deciding how cops can do their jobs better. I'm really worried about what they're going to come out with.
Well, you should be, because it doesn't mean a damn thing for police reform unless they start electing people that have sensible, common sense policies. Whose genius idea was it to get rid of the anti-crime squad? Yeah. Guys, listen, I lived it. You know what? Here's a newsflash for you. Criminals don't commit crimes in front of uniformed police officers. I know the dunce liberals and media people scratching their heads like, really? That's why we had anti-crime in plain clothes. They would drive around in unmarked cars and they would see people commit crimes. Because newsflash, libs, People don't commit crimes in front of uniformed police officers. I know they're stunned by this. But, I mean, whose genius decision was that? Let's get rid of anti-crime, and then gun crime goes up. Shocker.
Right. Although, Dan, during the riots last summer, a whole bunch of people were arrested looting, and the DA's letting them off. They've decided, you know what? We're not going to prosecute those people.
Steve, what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
Don't enforce looting, you'll get more of it. What could possibly go wrong? Liberals, again, are scratching their heads right now, looking to their golden calf AOC for guidance. What could possibly happen when you let looters out of jail?
Let's see what happens next. Dan, thanks for joining us from South Florida.
Thanks, Dan.
Listening today at noon.
Thanks, guys.